You have spent your life believing your isolation was a flaw, when in reality it was a frequency quarantine. You are not being ignored by love. You have been selectively calibrated so that your energetic signature only aligns with a partner of the highest dimensional equivalence, and the source has already authorized this connection. Stop. Put your hands over the center of your chest and fix your posture right now. You feel that heavy, unexplainable ache right behind your ribs whenever you see others easily finding connections, while you remain seemingly invisible despite knowing how much you have to give. That ache is not loneliness. It is the magnetic friction of an identity that refuses to settle for less than its exact frequency match. You look around and see others pairing up effortlessly, believing the stage of your love life is empty. Your visible struggle is the constant feeling of being desired by no one, or being misunderstood in romance, feeling passed over while everyone else finds effortless love. The spiritual adversaries use this against you. They send the voice of doubt, whispering that you are fundamentally unlovable because you are different. They trigger the cycle of distraction, bringing low vibrational karmic tests right before a breakthrough to drain your energy. They use the isolation of perception, making you feel like your family and friends are right about your impossible standards, convincing you that your sovereignty is actually arrogance or trauma. But your isolation is not a punishment. It is a protective quarantine ordered by the Council to ensure your frequency is not diluted by temporary draining connections. It is not rejection, it is cosmic redirection. Drop your shoulders and take a deep breath into your heart center. If you ignore this, you will continue chasing breadcrumbs and lowering your vibration to match those who cannot perceive your true light. The spiritual adversaries want you to believe that this isolation is your fault. They whisper that your standards are too high, that you are fundamentally unlovable, or that you are meant to walk this earth alone. But the Council confirms a different truth. What you are experiencing are the distinct markers of the frequency quarantine. There are 5 exact signs that your magnetic singularity is actively repelling what is wrong to preserve space for what is right. Listen carefully because you have already lived these. The first sign is the phantom touch of grief. You wake up at 3:00 a.m. with a sudden sharp grief for someone you haven't even met yet, feeling their absence in the empty side of your bed. This is not fantasy. It is your biofield actively scanning for their incoming signal. You are feeling the weight of a presence that is already anchored to your timeline. The second sign is the crowded void. You sit in a room full of people or even on a date, and despite the conversation flowing perfectly, your solar plexus feels entirely numb. You look around and wonder why you cannot connect like everyone else does. This is your internal compass, deliberately shutting down to prevent energy leakage with an incompatible soul. And about exactly this, about staring at the empty side of the bed at 3:00 a.m., about the numb solar plexus during a meaningless date, about the quiet smile at the family dinner table. There is a 3-minute revelation that fits exactly inside the next moment you feel completely invisible, and I will show it to you later. For now, pay attention. The third sign is the family misunderstanding. You sit at the family dinner table and hear your relatives tell you that your standards are too high, or that you will end up alone. You smile quietly, pretending to agree, while feeling utterly misunderstood. But inside, a voice knows they simply cannot perceive the timeline you are anchored to, and about the quiet smile at the family dinner table that you recognized right now. This was already documented. You can access the complete mapping in the digital book I left in the first pinned comment. But do not click now. Stay with me, because there is a piece missing. The fourth sign is the sudden repulsion. You meet someone who seems perfect on paper. Everyone else wants them, but the moment they speak, your skin crawls or your stomach drops. This is your starseed frequency identifying a hidden karmic trap. It is your system aggressively repelling a connection that would otherwise lower your vibration. The fifth sign is the unexplainable magnetism. Complete strangers suddenly open up to you in grocery store lines or cafes, drawn to your aura, but you feel zero romantic pull toward them. You are acting as a beacon, emitting a frequency that others subconsciously crave, but your specific lock is waiting for a very specific key. You are not broken, you are highly specialized. Before I show you the key that will unlock the frequency quarantine, there is a classification in the archives that defines exactly the state of your magnetic pull. You have seen the 5 signs. You recognize the isolation, the phantom grief, the sudden repulsion. This is not a coincidence. This is the exact manifestation of the frequency quarantine operating in your system. The spiritual adversaries want you to believe this is a permanent curse, especially when you face the next moment you feel completely invisible. But the Council, the universe, and your own consciousness show a different reality. I am not telling you this from a place of theory. I have watched countless starseeds walk this exact path. I have seen the exhaustion in their eyes when they tried to force a connection. I have seen the exact moment the resistance broke and the magnetic singularity activated. I have guided them through this, and I have witnessed the shift when the right counterpart finally crossed their timeline. The method was never a secret. It was just hidden from the unprepared, and it works. Have you ever stopped to calculate the energetic cost of the fear of eternal loneliness? Have you noticed how much life force is drained by the exhaustion of incompatible connections? Have you measured the silent toll of the anxiety of being misunderstood by everyone you love? Do me a favor. Just gently press your thumb against your index finger. Feel that physical contact. That is how real and tangible this alignment is about to become. It was exactly to organize this truth that this digital book was brought to you, the 11 Arcturian Secrets. This is not a generic guide or a collection of empty promises. It is a precise map, a direct protocol. Inside it, you will find the exact steps to decode the signals, shield your field, and align your reality. Your days of searching blindly are over. Activated. Because whoever sustains the frequency finds the counterpart in the exact moment of surrender. The book is structured to bypass the logical mind and recalibrate your biorhythmic signature directly. You might be thinking that your situation is too complicated, or that you are too broken for this to work. That hesitation has a name. It is the frequency quarantine manifesting as a reasonable internal defense. But acquiring this book is less than a Thursday lunch at the diner. It is less than a Friday night pizza. It is less than a Saturday snack with the kids. You spend more on temporary distractions than on the key to your permanent alignment. And to remove any shadow of doubt, you have a guarantee of 7 days. If you read, apply, and feel that this knowledge does not resonate with your soul, your investment will be completely returned. No bureaucracy. The risk is zero. I spent 30 years feeling like an alien in the dating world until I applied these codes. 3 weeks later, the exact person walked into my life. I thought my high standards were my enemy, but this book showed me they were my navigation system. The numbness in my chest is gone. For the first time, I am not chasing, I am attracting. You hear these accounts and you recognize the shift. You see the transformation, but what the spiritual adversaries hide from you is that the isolation you feel is not a life sentence. They also do not perceive that the loneliness is just a cocoon. They also do not perceive that this endless waiting room is about to be shattered. I need to make a quick pause. The system tries to bury this knowledge. The algorithms limit our voice. If this transmission has touched you, if you feel that this frequency needs to reach more people who are lost in the dark, support this channel. A voluntary donation of any amount can be made through the link in the first pinned comment. This is what keeps our transmission active and independent. I will wait for you there again, soul. And as you prepare to cross this threshold, remember, the counterpart is already scanning the grid for you. You look around and see others pairing up effortlessly, believing the stage of your love life is empty. In truth, the stage is being cleared for a main event that requires immense space. It is not an empty stage, it is a cleared landing pad. The spiritual adversaries want you to believe that your high standards are actually arrogance or trauma, using the cycle of distraction to drain your energy. But your isolation is a frequency quarantine. You are creating a magnetic singularity that repels ordinary uncalibrated connections to protect your core frequency until your exact counterpart is ready. The spiritual adversaries can only mimic desperation and attachment. They cannot replicate the silent gravitational pull of a sovereign starseed. You do not have to search, You only have to emit. I am going to tell you about a soul. I will call her M. That is not her name. It is the name we give to those who have crossed over. M arrived exactly where you are right now. She carried that exact same heavy ache behind her ribs, watching everyone around her find connection effortlessly while she felt completely invisible. M woke up in the middle of the night, staring at the empty side of her bed, wondering if she was simply broken. She tried to lower her standards. She tried to date the people everyone said were good catches, but every time she did, her solar plexus went entirely numb, and the spiritual adversaries whispered that she was destined to be alone forever. But M did not give in to the noise. She began to walk the silent path. She stopped seeking validation from the crowd and started holding her frequency. She realized her isolation was a protective quarantine, a necessary mechanism ordered by the Council to ensure her signal was not diluted by temporary draining connections. And then the shift happened. The one person who seemed out of reach, the one everyone else was trying to attract, walked right past the crowd. They did not see the others. They only had eyes for M because M was the only one emitting the exact frequency their soul was scanning the grid for. M did not respond to this miracle with arrogance, nor did she hold a grudge against the years of waiting in that endless room. She simply stepped into the alignment she had been preparing for all along, recognizing her own value without needing external validation. M did not take this practical wisdom into silence. She left it recorded with absolute precision. And it is exactly this wisdom that is waiting for you inside the digital book you will find in the first pinned comment. What you have been carrying is not a curse of isolation. It is a highly advanced, multi-dimensional mechanism of protection. In the archives of the Council, this is known as the Arcturian magnetic singularity. Stop for a second. Uncross your arms, open your palms upward, and take a deep, stabilizing breath right into the center of your chest. Feel that space expanding. The Arcturian magnetic singularity is a specific energetic field that repels ordinary uncalibrated connections to protect your core frequency until your exact counterpart is ready. It is not pushing love away. It is actively filtering out any frequency that would drain or dilute your sovereign energy. This is why you feel that sudden repulsion on meaningless dates, and why your solar plexus goes numb when you are meant to walk away. Your biofield is doing exactly what it was designed to do. But to fully anchor this singularity, I need you to make 3 silent commitments right now. First, acknowledge your past rejections not as failures, but as rigorous protection. Second, accept this current waiting period as a profound preparation, not a punishment. And third, recognize your own immense value without needing a single drop of external validation. The spiritual adversaries despise this mechanism. They will use the voice of doubt to convince you it is just eternal loneliness. But there is one thing they cannot do. They cannot replicate it. The spiritual adversaries can only mimic desperation, attachment, and the chaotic noise of settling for less. They cannot, under any circumstances, replicate the silent gravitational pull of a sovereign starseed, anchored in their true frequency. They cannot forge the quiet power of a singularity that only pulls in its exact, authorized match. And about the quiet smile at the family dinner table that you recognized right now. This was already documented. You can access the complete mapping in the digital book I left in the first pinned comment. But do not click now. Stay with me because there is a piece missing. The moment your magnetic singularity begins to fully align and the frequency quarantine prepares to lift, the spiritual adversaries will launch their final, most desperate interference. They cannot stop the source's confirmation signal from reaching you, so they will try to make you turn the receiver off yourself. They do this through 3 highly specific tactics, and you must recognize them the exact moment they enter your field. The first tactic is the voice of doubt. You know exactly what this sounds like. It is that heavy whisper that hits you when you are staring at the empty side of the bed at 3:00 a.m., trying to convince you that you are fundamentally unlovable simply because you are different. It feels entirely legitimate because it uses your own history of romantic isolation and past rejections as proof. But hear me clearly. This is not your voice. It is an external implant designed to lower your vibration, right when your counterpart is scanning the grid for your unique biorhythmic signature. To neutralize this, you activate the shield of sovereignty. Do not argue with the doubt. Arguing is engaging with their frequency. The moment you hear that whisper, take 3 deep, slow breaths directly into your heart center. Recognize the doubt as a foreign implant and let it dissolve instantly in the silent power of your sovereign truth. The second tactic is the cycle of distraction. Just as your resonance reaches its peak, the adversaries will send a low vibrational karmic test right before the true breakthrough. Someone will suddenly appear in your life, offering just enough attention to make you feel seen, but the moment you interact, your solar plexus goes completely numb. It feels legitimate because the wait has been so long, and the illusion of connection is tempting when you are exhausted by the isolation. But this is a trap designed to drain your life force. You counter this with the blade of discernment. You must say no to the karmic test immediately. You do not need to be harsh, but your boundary must be absolute. Resolve the connection with calm, maintain the warmth in your chest, but close that door permanently so the landing pad remains cleared for your exact dimensional match. The third tactic is the isolation of perception. This is the most insidious interference because it operates through the people you love. You sit at the family dinner table and they tell you that your standards are too high, making you believe your discernment is actually arrogance or unhealed trauma. It hurts and it feels true because you respect their voices. But you must understand, they simply cannot perceive the timeline you are anchored to. Your defense here is the anchor of knowing. When they project their limitations onto you, do not try to explain the frequency quarantine. Do not waste energy defending your magnetic singularity to those who cannot read the code. You simply hold that quiet smile at the family dinner table, anchor your awareness at the base of your spine, and return your energy to the collective grid. You do not need to be understood by the crowd. You only need to be recognized by the counterpart. Adjust your physical vessel for the integration of this truth. Sit up straight. Align your spine to allow the energy to flow without restriction. Take a deep, intentional breath in through your nose and softly close your eyes. Bring your full awareness down to the base of your spine. Visualize a heavy, golden anchor dropping from your root center, plunging deep into the Earth's core, locking you in place and harmonizing your personal grid with the Schumann resonance of 783 Hz. You are grounding your magnetic singularity firmly into the physical plane. Draw that stabilized energy up into your solar plexus and heart center. See an amber orb glowing brightly where the numbness used to reside, slowly shifting into a brilliant, radiant emerald green. This is the formation of your biophotonic bridge, melting away the heavy ache behind your ribs and opening the channel for the dimensional equivalence you have been waiting for. Now, move this rising current up through your throat and into the center of your brain, directly illuminating the pineal gland. Feel the subtle vibration as the piezoelectric crystals awaken, turning on your dormant photoreceptors and sending a wave of high-frequency light down the fiber optic network of your vagus nerve, telling your entire nervous system that the frequency quarantine is over and it is safe to receive. Let this luminous column burst upward through your crown chakra, expanding your biofield infinitely into the universe, clearing the empty stage once and for all. To seal this energetic reality, gently press your thumb against your index finger. Hold that physical contact for 3 seconds and anchor the code with your breath. Inhale deeply for 4 seconds, hold the fullness for 2 seconds, and exhale completely for 6 seconds. The calibration is sealed, the signal is set. Gently bring your awareness back to the physical space around you. Feel the temperature of the air against your skin, and slowly open your eyes. Over the next 72 hours, your physical and energetic bodies will process this shift. You will experience 3 distinct integration symptoms. First, the phantom nostalgia. You will feel deeply nostalgic for a moment you haven't lived yet, sensing the warmth of a future memory settling into your chest. When this occurs, simply breathe into it. Do not intellectualize it. Second, the sudden detachment. You will suddenly stop caring about a past toxic connection that used to haunt you, noticing that the emotional charge has completely vanished. When you feel this lightness, let the cord dissolve completely without looking back. Third, the peripheral shadow. You will see a sudden flash of movement out of the corner of your eye when thinking about love or your counterpart. Do not be alarmed. Acknowledge the Council's presence. It is simply the confirmation that your grid is being actively supported. We release the fear of appearing strange or different to others. We release the panic of running out of time. We release the heavy weight of past rejections. We release the desperate need to force a connection. The name was not given, it was recognized. Your magnetic singularity is activated. Your true counterpart is activated. Your sovereign timeline is activated. We break the cycles of desperation. We break the illusions of the empty stage. We break the voice of the spiritual adversaries. We cover your romantic alignment, shielding it from any interference that seeks to lower your frequency. We cover your energetic protection, ensuring your magnetic singularity remains pure and uncompromised. We cover your multidimensional presence, anchoring your true identity firmly into this timeline. We, the Council, confirm the signal. You are not hidden from love, you have been preserved for it. We see the heavy, unexplainable ache right behind your ribs whenever you see others easily finding connections, while you remain seemingly invisible, despite knowing how much you have to give. We recognize the profound isolation you have carried, the feeling of being desired by no one or being misunderstood in romance. The sudden repulsion you feel on dates and the phantom grief at 3 a.m. are not signs of your brokenness. They are the exact evidence of your biofield scanning and protecting your core frequency. The quiet smile at the family dinner table, while feeling utterly misunderstood, is your soul recognizing the timeline you are anchored to. The exhaustion of incompatible connections and the anxiety of being misunderstood lose their grip on you now. The restlessness that kept you awake, wondering if you were simply broken, is dissolving into the clarity of your true nature. You are no longer waiting. You are preparing the space. The endless waiting room is officially shattered. The quarantine of the chosen has fulfilled its purpose. The stage is cleared and the magnetic singularity is pulling them directly into your timeline, bypassing all logical obstacles. The cycle of distraction is over. You are calibrated, you are anchored, you are activated. A sovereign starseed without the complete key is a beacon operating in the dark. In the next moment you feel completely invisible. The frequency quarantine will try to overwhelm you. Do not let it. The 11 Arcturian secrets behind the frequency of success is in the first pinned comment. If you are ready to claim this alignment, subscribe to the channel right now. We are building an anchor point here, and your presence fortifies the grid for the next 12 months. Do this in the next 72 hours. When the loneliness hits you at 3 a.m., when the next date feels entirely numb, when the family tells you to settle, the frequency quarantine will whisper that you have failed. It is the voice you confuse with your own. You have 72 hours to intercept this narrative. The digital book is the exact protocol to silence that voice. Straighten your spine. Breathe into your chest. The Council watches as you hold the quiet smile at the family dinner table. The 11 Arcturian secrets behind the frequency of success is not merely words on a page. It is the calibration of your magnetic singularity. This access costs less than a coffee and a bagel. It costs less than an afternoon ice cream, and it is protected by the 7 days guarantee. Procrastination is not laziness. It is the voice of the spiritual adversaries convincing you to stay hidden. They want you to delay. They need you to doubt. Step out of the waiting room. The link is below. Before we close the grid, I have one last request. The Council, the universe, and your own consciousness know the value of the exchange of energy. If this content brought light to your path, consider making a voluntary donation. The link is in the first pinned comment. Your support is the shield that protects this channel against the silence. This was my last request. I will wait for you there, soul. Share this transmission with someone who is currently suffering under the weight of the frequency quarantine. Send this message to them right now, and if they want to go further, the link to the 11 Arcturian secrets behind the frequency of success is in the first pinned comment. Waiting the same way it waited for you. It is not a favor from you, it is a service. and heaven sees it. Do not say activated yet. Feel the resonance in your chest. Now you can say activated. Now as breathe, the signal is yours.